Rapids Nation, we are joined by Coach Brad MacKenzie. Brad, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Dave.
It's been a little bit of a busy time here in the last few days, so let's get into some of the updates that are happening. It's been a good leading into the break. There was some great play going on, and a couple of unfortunate accidents that have happened over the last couple of games. So why don't we start there?
Yeah, sure. Well, I guess probably the first thing to start with is Isaac Dixon. I know a lot of the fans, a lot of the community is concerned about Isaac, is worried, is wondering what his story is and his status. So if you're not up to speed, just to bring you up to speed with Isaac, he suffered an injury in our first game back after the break in Edmundston. It was one of those plays, Dave, where it was a clean hockey play. It was really unfortunate. You never want to see it happen to anybody. But no fault to the opponent. It was a play where Isaac was going back for a puck. The opponent was forechecking, and both were skating at full speed, and I think that had something to do with it. And he moved the puck to his D partner and got hit. And the way he fell into the boards, it was just one of those awkward plays. That was a hard hit, but a clean play. And so when the injury happened, they did everything right on the ice. They stretched him off, got him to the hospital for evaluation, and turns out he had broken a couple vertebrae in his back, and there was some concern about his spinal cord and stuff. So he's in hospital in Moncton now. He had surgery the next day. It went really well. It went as planned, and we got very promising news a couple of days ago that Isaac was able to just first sit up and then stand up and then take a couple baby steps. So. Really promising news and encouraging for everybody to hear. I know Isaac really and his family appreciate all the messages that he's gotten from fans, from everybody in the community. And he's now about to take his next step, which is moving up to Fredericton at the Stan Cassidy Rehabilitation Center, where he'll start a rehab process. It sounds like it's going to be a long road to recovery, but we all know Isaac's going to get there. He's strong. He's got a lot of love and support behind him, and we're just keep thinking and praying for him, and we'll keep you guys as fans posted on Isaac's progress.
Awesome, yeah. So Moncton to Fredericton, halfway next. We go Fredericton to Grand Falls when he's better.
That's the last step, absolutely.
Awesome.
And,
I was joking with him that we'll get the nurses to lace his skates up in the meantime. So
yeah,
hopefully we'll see him back up here very soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And Isaac has he's got a great mindset right now about it all. I think obviously. Early on, it's tough. It's tough to comprehend, and I think now he's really focused on doing what he needs to do to get better every day, and is staying as positive as he can be. And he's part of that is he's surrounded by his family and is getting tons of encouragement from us and from fans and lots of friends and everybody else. So awesome. It means a lot.
That's great. And then the next game back, we have another kind of freak accident that happens. Nolan goes down in the second goal of the game.
Yeah.
How's he doing?
Nolan's doing good. To be honest, he's still sort of in an evaluation period. We're waiting for some tests to come back. It's a lower body injury. And, again, similar to Isaac in a sense that the play was just one of those fluke plays where the guy was going in on a breakaway, and our guy actually ended up taking a penalty on him because he kind of pushed him from behind, and both our player and their player ended up running into Nolan, and as a goaltender, he was down to sort of a vulnerable, awkward position at the time. So lower body injury right now. It's going to be a couple of weeks for sure, and we're just waiting back for some tests on what's going on.
Hopefully he's going to be back up and running too. How does that, though, Brad, those two injuries, how does that affect the team's psyche and mentality? I mean, obviously you've been playing some great hockey going into the orange break and then going into the Christmas break. What's that like for these guys now that they got to lose two teammates like that pretty quickly?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, both injuries are tough, especially Isaac's because it's a longer term thing, and that was really tough on the guys, and they're handling it really well. I think adversity is something you talk about a lot as a hockey team, and you face lots of adversity throughout the course of a season. And this year, we're not the only team. Every team's faced with the same idea of the unpredictability, I think is the right word for it all. Before the break, it really felt like things were going really well in a sense of our league moving forward, the games moving forward. Our team was playing well. Just before the break, as we know, we had to move back to an orange phase, had to cancel a few games, and the guys took that okay. We got a chance. Some guys went home. Some guys actually had to go home and come back in quarantine, and other guys stayed and started the Christmas break a little early. Then you get back from the break and you're all excited. You get a couple games under your belt, and then boom, a couple injuries and right back to the orange phase. So a little bit of adversity, but I think that was something that was expected this season. We knew going in that it wasn't going to be a normal year, and we just talk all the time about how fortunate we are to be playing, to be doing what we're doing, to be out and about. We're not on full lockdown, and our league's moving forward. So the guys have a good attitude about it all.
That's awesome. Yeah, we were talking a little bit earlier about being the scheduling guy for the league. And that'd be a thankless job, I think, this year, and you'd probably want to keep your hair real short. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give a shout out to James Faulkner with the league. Like he deserves the MVP for this season, no question about it. His job is not one I'd like to have. It changes every day in terms of what he has to do. So
crazy. Well, there's been a few changes on the team as well. So Carter McCluskey, who was a big part of the team, he's gone off to do something else.
Yeah, so Carter got the call just before the Christmas break that he's getting recalled by the St. John Sea Dogs of the Quebec League, and I mean, first off, we're gonna miss him, no doubt about it. Carter had a great start to the season with us, a great kid. We all loved him in the dressing room and on the ice. Secondly, though, extremely happy for Carter. He told me at the beginning of the season that his goal was to be in the Quebec League by Christmas, and so when you hear that from a kid and then he gets the call. You can't help but smile and be happy for him, and I know he's going to do really well there. He's as you guys as fans had a chance to see, his work ethic on the ice, his ability to finish and to play in different roles and situations. I know he's going to have a lot of success, and that's one thing at this level that you have to accept and you have to really be happy for as an organization. Part of our job. Yeah, we want to win. We want to be selfish and keep players for ourselves, but it's also our job to push players on to the next level and help them to achieve their personal goals. So we're happy for Carter to get a chance to do that.
No, it is. It's awesome for him, and I think as a fan and as somebody who follows this team very closely, you worry about that to a certain extent. I worry about that. I look at that and I go, some of these kids, I can imagine that there's, GMs around the league that are licking their chops going, oh, what about this guy? What about that guy? And that will inevitably change the look of this team. But hopefully, it's a great group of guys. So I think regardless of what happens, they're there and they'll be able to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's something that we all learn to understand at this level is every team deals with that same stuff. I mean, we dealt with it with Denny Toner last year, and that one was a bit of a stinger too as a captain and hometown guy, and he was excited to be back playing in front of his hometown fans for the first time. But at the end of the day, a lot of our players and guys that we draft or recruit, they look up at that. At guys like Denny, guys like Carter, they look up to them and say, okay, well, maybe I can go to Grand Falls and then I can take the next step, or I can play in the Maritime League and then take the next step. And so I think it's something to celebrate and try to be happy for those guys and hopefully push some more guys up to the next level at some point.
Yeah, no, that's great. And obviously we've had to fill some gaps in the lineup. So let's talk about the big announcement that went out this morning. And when I say big, I'm talking two big dudes coming into the lineup.
Yeah, we added some size and some bodies on the back end. We started the season with 7, and that's sort of the number that I like, to have 7 defensemen. It gives you a chance. Some nights you might dress 12 forwards, 6D. You might dress 11 and 7. And then obviously the departure of Zach Cormier earlier in the season put us down to 6, and Isaac's injury puts us at 5. So defense was an immediate need that we had to address, and we got a little bit lucky in a sense that there's leagues in Ontario that are not playing right now, and there's players that are sitting at home want to play. So Quinn McClellan is the first one that we added. He's a big boy, 6'4", good skating defenseman who's really more on the steady defensive side of the game. So I think you're going to see a guy that can be trusted in a lot of situations, kill penalties. There was a little bit of connection. We had a couple of players that played against him. Tyler Boivin actually played with him in midget, and so he was really excited to hear that Quinn was getting added to our lineup. And the other guy, Julian Jacob, is almost a polar opposite in terms of the style of player. He's got some size as well. He's over 6 feet and a strong kid, but he's more mobile. He's more up in the rush, offensive-minded defenseman who, as a rookie last year, had 19 points in a very good league. So I think you're going to see some offensive contributions from Julian. And both guys are in town now. They're actually doing their quarantine, and I think both guys secretly were kind of happy that we went to the Orange phase, and they're not going to miss out on too many games.
Yeah, there's probably a few guys who are dealing with some bumps and bruises that the Orange phase is probably going to help them kind of settle that down a little bit and be ready to go for whenever that's lifted. Hopefully sooner than later.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure Nolan Boyd wouldn't admit it, but I'm sure he's a little bit happy that we're taking a couple weeks off as well. So
for sure, and hopefully, yeah. I mean, I think everybody's looking forward to it. I know, how excited we were after the first phase kind of calmed down a little bit, and everybody was kind of getting excited around what was going to happen. And that's the one thing about this town. They love hockey.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll certainly be there when things start up again.
I think it's exciting that we still have 16 home games to play.
Yes.
It feels like our season's been going for a while, but we've only played 4, so I know a lot of the fans are excited to see a lot of more consistent home action here coming up.
And I think the team, when I had Tyler and Maddie in the other night just for the Captain's Corner, they were talking about how they kind of miss playing in front of the home fans, right? It's different. It's different this year in terms of the energy in the building, but it's still there. And it's
absolutely.
Awesome.
Oh, absolutely. The guys, they talk about it all the time. It's one of the biggest things that they enjoy about Grand Falls is the fan support that we get. So I know they're really looking forward to playing in front of I know not a full building yet, but a loud building, and hopefully at some point down the road, a full building.
For sure. Well, Brad, just one final question before we go. I'll put you on the spot here. So when we win the championship, and I say when, not if, do we go twice around Broadway, or do we go just down and back?
I don't like to look that far ahead. I think we're happy and we think we have a chance. We're competitive. There's a lot of teams that think the same, but if it did happen, I think we'd be doing a lot of loops. I think we'd go both ways and keep it going for a while.
Awesome. Sounds good. Well, listen, we look forward to getting Quinn and Julian when they get through their quarantine. We'll do a one-on-one with them and introduce them to the fans. And let's go team.
Excellent. Thanks.